everybody. This is Rick of the Rick and Crystal Show. Thank you so much. And today's special guest is Richard.
Or JD.
Or JD, right? He's my oldest son, and he's 31. 31, and he was the firstborn named after me. I'm Rick, of course. He's Richard. And we're going to do an interview with him. We've been waiting a long time for this, so here it is. Well, welcome to the show, Rich. Thanks for coming. It's great to have him here. I'm sorry I didn't say this beforehand, but look in the camera, not the viewfinder. A lot of people keep looking at themselves, and you want to look at the camera. That's the way you see the audience. So let's talk about you, Rich. You're 31. You're a steel worker. You work in a steel plant.
Yes, I work in a foundry.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I've always wondered, can you tell, like the viewers or me, about the metals, what you do? I mean, you don't have to get too in detail and give us a lecture, but tell us, about your work.
It's a half and half foundry. Half of the stuff that we make are railroad tracks.
Wow.
So anything that's not a straight railway section is something we make. So crossings, frog switches, anything like that, or any kind of specialty short track, we make.
Wow.
And on the flip side of that, the other half is we make a lot of ductile parts, such as the manhole covers at gas stations. We make those. We make 3 or 4 different Caterpillar parts, depending on the need for the year. We make certain crankshafts for certain manufacturers, and some of the parts are just on order. Some years we've got big orders of certain things, some years we don't. It just depends.
Yeah, how the economy is, and building and construction, and maintenance on track maintenance. And
Yep.
That's really. I mean, do you we've seen like I have seen those old movies and those films of the steel plants. Pittsburgh, right? All those plants in Ohio, and it shows the hot stuff pouring down these buckets and these guys with the gear. I mean, Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Wow.
I've melted in metal. I've poured that metal. I've melted in manganese and poured that manganese. Manganese itself, on, say, a brand new furnace, 3,000 degrees, in order to properly cook it like in a kiln.
Wow.
So that the actual lining material hardens properly.
And the thing that I think is so cool is you're melting that stuff and stirring it and pouring. Well, the containers have to be able to handle that hot stuff. They got to be more sturdy than the stuff you're melting.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And I've heard of those diamond tip blades and stuff.
Mm-hmm. The whole inside of the furnace is a powdered alumina silicon porcelain liner.
Wow.
None of the lining material itself is metal. It is all powder that hardens, and that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, some of that expensive metal, the lightweight aluminum metal that they use, carbon fiber and some of those other things. I mean, tell us about that.
Those are actually specialty foundries. There are certain foundries that melt and pour copper. There are certain foundries that go a higher grade copper. We do, I believe, a lower grade copper. Less than 0.6% of our stuff, when we do copper, it does not reach a full 1% as far as the iron base. There are places that do a much higher amount of copper in their iron. There are places that do, I think there's one that does 10, and some other stuff. Very, very, very smaller actual furnaces, because they're very, I guess, sensitive metals, chemistry-wise. We usually run an iron base, and the only difference between, say, ductile and manganese, like the track work, is just the percentages of the chemicals in the iron. Manganese will be about 13% of their overall percentage of iron will be manganese. It has to be able to hold the weight of all the cars on the train.
Wow.
It has to be hard. It has to be sturdy. Our process will melt it, pour it. It runs through our production line, and it cools off over time, gets shooken out, cleaned up, and then heat treated, then detail cleaned, then ran through X-ray before it even leaves our place.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's good to know. I mean, all the hard work you people like you are putting in for transportation, transportation is so important for this country. Without it, we would have a lot of empty grocery stores.
Yeah, they decided last year. What was it? The end of March, beginning of April. They decided that because we provide tracks,
You're an essential business.
essential business.
Yep. You kind of remember that in old World War II movies. The Germans. Oh, it's this essential business. It's a very important. I want to ask you. It's a Christian program. Crystal and I are Christians, and I'm really into weird, mysterious stuff. From the old ages, and you hear about the Bronze Age. I know you're aware of this, and the Tin Age, and it's where our descendants, our forefathers, discovered how to melt and manipulate the metals and minerals from the earth. Question I want to throw out to you, and this is an esoteric question. It's kind of out there. It's an X-Files question.
Okay.
What do you think of this mysterious stuff they keep finding thousands of years old or 14,000 years old? And they're like, we just learned how to melt these metals together to make aluminum or something. They did not have this technology back then. How did they do it,
Some of it's actually really interesting. The electroplating on some of the old gold that they did in the Middle East is really, really interesting if you read into it. Some of the stuff, like a lot of people are really interested in the Vikings and people of Norse descent.
Yeah.
And they'll talk about their weapons, and there's a lot of mythology around the weapons. And part of it is because they would take bones and mix it in with their metal. Now, the carbon in the bones makes the weapon stronger. Carbon-based infusion. It's not something that they used to do before that time, but their weapons would be stronger than weapons of the same grade. Like, say, this iron weapon versus this iron weapon, carbon's going to be stronger.
Let me ask you about this. Last year I bought a Japanese chef's knife. It's like an 8-inch knife. It's like your go-to knife to cut. And I spent $40 on it. It's a Japanese, and it's really cool. I really love it. Now, we've all heard the stories, the samurai stories, of their swords, and they were folded 500 times or 1,000 times. Can you tell us anything you know about that? I mean, what do they mean by folding the blade?
I can tell you something. In order to know more, you'd have to actually go watch some channels that have shorter videos. Like Man at Arms is really cool. They'll actually forge weapons. One of their ones is they did it the old school way. They made a authentic Asian weapon forged in this huge area where it's just bricks and bricks and bricks. You get a fire and just heat the metal up that way to melt it down. The folding process, you have to think about it. Have you heard the thought process? If you take a piece of paper and you fold it X amount of times, it could reach the moon. Because every time you fold it, you double. Okay? Some of these ones that have been folded a huge amount of times, it's just, you fold it, that's 2 folds. You fold it, that's 4 folds. You fold it, that's 8 folds. It doubles every time. Now, it is a trade-off. Because that particular stuff, it is very renowned for how sharp it can be, for how smoothly it can cut. And they didn't just have swords over there, too, which is really, really cool. Kanabos, I believe, are some of the old school melee weapons that they'd have. The big sticks with the studs all over them. Just crazy stuff. I mean, you get hit with that, it doesn't matter really where you get hit. You got a decent hit and something's breaking. Armor plates are getting really messed up.
It's just incredible the way they did these technologies. Like we were talking about the swords and weapons.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing this on the news that in China? I think it's China or Japan. I think it's China. These bowls that look like a big bowl, like you'd wash your face in the old days in the Wild West.
Yeah.
They're mirror bowls. They're beautiful. They have a beautiful shine, but they're like a mirror, like you could see through them, or you do something and you can see something that wasn't there. It's this technique they've known for thousands of years, and it's lost, and then they rediscovered it. It's just the coolest thing.
Well, just like Damascus. There was a large period of time where people didn't know how to work Damascus, at least like it had been previously worked. Some of the stuff's really cool, and some of the stuff, I'm going to say Asian. I don't know if it's Japanese or if it's Chinese. There's the whole thought process behind if a dish gets broken, they'll repair it with it's either gold or gold leaf, and they'll keep the cracks. Because the whole point of healing for them, at least in this theory, is that when something falls apart and it comes back together, or it's healed properly, there is beauty in the damage, there's beauty in the cracks. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I understand that's a different philosophical outlook.
Mm-hmm.
You like that's a good segue. Like as a Christian like me, my God, I've got enough cracks in my life, mistakes I've made, and foolish decisions, and things that have happened to me that weren't my fault. But yeah, the cracks show and the aches and pains, but I do understand what the overall picture is. Of knowledge, power, experience. Yeah, it is a good film. Let me get out of this because we could talk about weapons forever. Let's talk about something that everybody really wants to hear. Let's go into the world of video games. That's right, because today we're going to pay a visit to JD's house. I never call him that. I call him Richard. But we're going to go to his house, and he's going to show us his extensive collection of video games and manuals, and just an enormous collection. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Do you want me to hold it, old man? You got this?
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Rick from the Rick and Crystal Show, and I'm with Richard in his man cave, which I helped him build. And we're going to look at his massive collection real quick, then we're going to do some work on a shelf. This is Richard.
I do apologize for the mess. I am the only person down here consistently working on any of this.
And he works at the stove plant like 7 days a week forever. So let's take a look at this stuff. Rich, I'll turn the camera around. You just tell us what we're looking at.
Okay. All right, come on over here.
Here's that beautiful sink, his bar sink he's got up.
Bar sink.
Those Edison lights. And, okay, let's pass the mess. We'll go right to...
the mess.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
Collection of DVDs, video games, the actual manga that I like to read, Naruto and Uzumaki,
Right.
or Uzaki-chan, and then I've got just a small collection of funny things that political. We'll leave it at political.
What are all these books down here, manuals?
Strategy guides. Stuff on the bottom is like comic encyclopedias. I've got a small collection of Bibles over here from throughout a lot of my family.
These are Xbox.
Yep, these are 360 games, the ones that'll play on your system. And then these are all Xbox One games. I've got so many 360 games that they loop around to the bottom. Just to give you a heads up.
Wow, look at these guys. And more manuals. Look at these.
Yep.
Xbox.
And then I've got classic stuff like, you've got one of these yourself.
Yes, I do.
The Earthbound Heart.
Yes, I'm playing Earthbound right now. And we have a PlayStation 4 here, and PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Then up here we have Switch games.
Yep.
Game Boy. And the Super NES cases. Can you show us one of those cases?
Yeah, let's go to something that you don't actually see ever. Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes, which is a sequel to Chrono Trigger, set 5 years after the original.
Wow. I'm looking forward to playing Chrono Trigger again because you can retain the guy's abilities when you start the next game.
Yeah, New Game Plus.
I know, I hate that on Earthbound. You can't.
One of the first games to do New Game Plus, too. Yeah.
Okay.
NES games, Genesis games.
DS game, 3DS.
Yep. Game Boy. This is the only Game Boy game I own. I own an original edition of Pokemon Blue. Just a very big collector.
Let's whip around over here. Now, there's your big cabinet with Monopoly in there that you're going to bring out. Here's your record player and your records.
Yep.
And these are, well, you actually have CDs.
Yep.
CDs and movies.
I've got CDs, I've got music DVDs, I've got DVDs, and then I've got an awful lot of books. I do love to read.
Oh, I like the lights. Let's take a look at these lights. Oh, look over here. Look over here. These are, what are these called, these guys?
Funko Pop collection.
Funko Pop collection.
Yep.
Amazing. Amazing. Richard's opening up something over there.
Oh no, I'm closing something.
I'm going to take a look at your lights. And your home theater down here. Yeah, these basements are really quiet for sound and everything.
Yep.
Well, that is great. Let's wrap this up because this is going to be a long video if we don't.
That's right.
Well, this has been trying to get out of the light here. Okay, this has been
Here, bring your face back so it illuminates your face right there. Yeah.
okay. There we go. There we go. This has been Rick and Richard. And,
Hello.
We're in Richard's game room. You can see the shelves behind us. It's massive, and it took us a couple of months to put together, and we stained, but it's beautiful.
Built from the ground up.
And this has been Father and Son Day on the Rick and Crystal Show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye now. Richard, why don't you tell us first what's new? What's new in video games? I mean, because you're looking at an old guy who plays a mini Super Nintendo or the old PlayStation, but I mean, what's new?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And in my honest opinion, there's no way to go forward without knowing where you've been. I mean, without Mario, for example, where would your platformers be?
Right.
And going further from that, where would your 3D platformers be? As far as new, today, Resident Evil 8 came out.
8?
Yes. I've been playing that since about 5 o'clock this morning. It's pretty good. I really like it. It is a completely different take. It reminds me a lot of first-person Resident Evil 4 with some of the tidbits from Resident Evil 7. I like it. I really like it. I really liked Resident Evil 2, the remake, and I really like Resident Evil 3, the remake. I wish there would have been more for me to do, especially since I beat the remake, at least number 3, 4 times, just to continually playing the game, because it's a really good game. It just felt like I needed more. This is a really good game. It's got to be my favorite one so far. A week from today, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out. It's all 3 Mass Effect games. I'm really excited to play the first one again, because that was a phenomenal experience. Let's see. Animal Crossing is not new, but I'm looking forward to playing that. I got it a couple weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I was going to get Animal Crossing for Crystal, but she ended up buying Mario. She went bought Mario. I mean, we got the Monopoly games and Risk, and I know for serious gamers, they're like,
No, those are fun games. For example, if you're in Monopoly is really easy to get all the achievements on. Monopoly Deal as well.
well, it's frustrating though the way it manipulates the other players because the computer, like if a player's hanging on, just barely hanging on, it will let them skate around the board a few times. It's neat the way the algorithms work out. Now look, if we don't move along here, we're going to have an hour-long show.
I mean, we can keep talking. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so we talked about the steel plant. We talked about some weapons. We talked about some. We just touched on some video games. You want to tell us what happened last year to you?
I got married.
You got married. That's right. Thank you, audience. Our studio audience here. Thank you for that. Any more applause for Richard? It's a big deal when you get married.
I greatly appreciate it. It was a fantastic thing. All the people that were there made the day even better. The lady that I married, just beautiful, stunningly beautiful in her dress. I think, especially with how last year was, that day could not have been any better.
Yeah. COVID. Yeah.
I was very happy. I know that some people would not want to try a COVID wedding, or at least a COVID season wedding. We got lucky. Everyone were given masks. Things were cleaned. Everyone was stationed 10 feet apart instead of 6 feet. Every person that came to the wedding left 10 o'clock at night. We were not trying to have it late. And there were no COVID cases from anyone that came to the wedding.
Oh, it's a great way. Now, what are you working on in the future?
In the future, there's a little bit of work I want to do in the basement. A little bit of work in the kitchen. Get the house cleaned up just a little bit. Definitely working on my very own child. I would love to have a baby come in the world, whether it's a boy or a girl.
That's right. He said a child. They're working on a child. That's right. That's right. That would be a grandchild for Rick. Yeah. Grandpa Rick. Yeah. But listen, we're going to shoot some film at his house, and we're going to turn this into a show. Richard, is there anything else we can touch on? And we're going to have you back because he's a great guest. We're going to have him back. What do you think, folks? Is he a great guest? Richard? I want to ask you though. Chris and I do this every show. Can you spare 5 seconds for the boogie dance?
What is the boogie dance?
It's a music.
Do I have to stand up for it?
No.
Okay.
I'll count down from 3 to 1, and we'll just dance. And it's a track that plays, and it's gonna look great. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
'Cause I can't sleep without you, no.
It's called a mixer, Richard. A mixer. We use it in production and studio work here
Well, I mean,
at RCR Studios.
I could have just played Staying Alive and then put Boogie It On Down.
Yes, you could have. Yes. Okay. We got a lot of work to do today. We have to get to his JD's house. Yeah.
See?
Anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to say hi to anybody out here?
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Rich. As you can see, my kids, it's their first time on video. So.
Let's see. If Dad's got his YouTube channel going, there are some people I think that you would actually like on YouTube.
Sam.
Philip DeFranco, fantastic news advice. Very unbiased. Both sides of the story he'll tell. I really like that.
I like the game channels, and of course I watch my morning news people, and I used to watch Rogan a lot, but then he went to Spotify, so
Yeah.
I don't watch Rogan anymore. And I used to watch Sticks and Hammer. He does a lot of political commentary, but it's nothing against him. Our values didn't line up. He's an ex-Satanist. I'm a Christian, so he's a very intelligent man. It's just, he totally has no faith in Christianity, so it's hard to watch him and support him, But I want to tell you guys, thank you for watching, and thank Richard we thank him for coming on the show. We love having him on, and we hope you come back again. We want you to have a great weekend. I don't know if our producer will put this up tonight or tomorrow, but we still got some more footage. But thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.